Hello, all you people out there. How are you doing? I hope everything is great with you. Life is treating you nicely. And first of all, thank you so much for all the love that you shared on the previous videos. I'm glad that those videos were valuable to you. But it has been a while since I have shared any coffee tasting videos with you guys. And therefore, today we'll be talking about a coffee. And maybe you haven't noticed that it has been a while since when I have been tasting some medium roast coffees. Nothing light, nothing dark. So today I'm experimenting with a brand from which I have previously tasted some really dark roasted coffee, which was a long back ago, and I still remember it was very dark. So this time I'm tasting something medium dark roast from them, and the coffee is 7 Beans Eka. Now, to begin with all the details of this coffee has been sourced from Chikmagalur. It is a medium dark roast. The processing is done. It is washed natural HST. Now, after that, the elevation of at the place where it had been planted was from 2500 to 3700 feet. The coffee is a blend of Arabica and Robusta. Now, what the flavor notes they are saying to expect are earthy pepper and walnuts. So, all in all, a nice blend. But the first thing that might be disappointing me is Robusta, because as far as I know, the experience with Robusta coffee hasn't been much good for me. But let's not discriminate on that. Apart from that, the flavor notes they are saying to expect are pretty good. Earthy pepper and walnut is pretty good. But I want to see myself that is this medium dark roast going to give me some nice palatable experience, because the last time I had something above medium dark wasn't something palatable for me. But hey, if we don't experiment with things, if we don't see what kind of taste we're gonna get out of it, maybe we are just gonna stay in that zone, and that's all. But without any more delay, let's make a nice cup of pour over and taste this coffee. Let's do it, guys. So here's a nice cup of pour over straight out of this 7 Beans Eka. Now let's be honest here, guys. The last time I tasted a coffee from 7 Beans, it was Urja. And talking about that coffee, I still remember that it just hit my palate hardly. I still remember that at that time I talked about it gladly, because I wasn't that much honest on camera at that time. But believe me, guys, it was hard on palate, and secondly, I gave a subliminal hint that you can enjoy it with some sandwiches or breakfast or whatever I told at that time. But I remember something on same lines I said that time. Let's see what I can expect from this coffee. This coffee by the name of Eka, because the roast is of same amount, like a medium dark roast. Let's take the first aroma. It's a little bit different. For the very first time, I'm getting a sort of different aroma, not something very similar, those very similar aromas that I get from coffee. It has something spicy going on in it. That spiciness is there in the aroma. Maybe I can't get anything else from the aroma, but that spiciness is there for sure. Now, let's take the first sip. Okay. See, I can get something and I would talk about it. There is something going on my palate. It's beautiful. It's gentle. See, it is dark in a way. It's giving that prominent dark roast taste. But It's gentle and cozy and warm in a way. See, I'll explain you how. If you have tasted some what we call ground nuts roasted in sand, and then you have tasted those ground nuts, that very similar taste of those warm cozy ground nuts in your mouth, that kind of very similar taste is what I'm getting on my palate at the very first sip. That very similar memory has been evoked. It's that very similar thing. Now, that's the very first impression, and I would say that it's a cozy impression. So, to get something like that, it feels cozy, it feels nice. It's not a harsh kind of note, it's not that straight away dark burnt wood or something like that kind of note. It's a cozy note on the first one. Let's take another sip and find something. I don't know how to describe it. I can't say it's a spicy note, but it is something along that spiciness on the same line. It's not completely like spicy. I mean, there is some spiciness to it, but I just don't know what kind of spiciness, because there are many spices. Let's take another sip. Maybe I might pinpoint that one or something. I figure out something else. Okay. See, there is this subtle woodiness, and it's that gentle bark woodiness that you get from those old grown trees, those trees which have grown and they have dried over a period of time. Sometimes you sit next to them and you get that aroma. That very similar sort of note I'm getting here. And that's the best I can describe this one note that I recently got, and that's also something that you get at the back of your palate. It's not the very first prominent taste on your palate, it's something you get at the back of your palate. If you're getting what I'm trying to say. See, the very first thing you get is that cozy warmth of ground nuts which have been roasted. And maybe it is a little bit similar to that walnut taste, but after a while there is that spicy taste, that spicy swish, and then after that at the back of your palate there is this woody note that you get when it just goes down, down your throat. That's something very gentle, very subtle. One more thing I would like to talk about apart from the notes is that it's a very enjoyable coffee, and like enjoyable as in expecting something from Eka. I was expecting maybe it was going to be that harsh coffee, because it is a blend of Arabica and Robusta, so probably it would have that hard steel note on it for sure. But I'm surprised that even the bitterness is very subtle. It is coming out as something of a roasted groundnut flavor. You know what I mean? Because it is something which you can enjoy on its very own self. You don't need a sandwich or some sort of bread or some sort of cake which is sweet to mix with the coffee, because I think for me personally, a good decent coffee is something which I can enjoy on its own, because my personal experience of coffee is tasting it black and tasting it on its own and just sipping on it for a long while listening to the music. So somewhere after a long while I'm tasting a nice medium dark roast coffee, and it gives me that feeling, that appeal that maybe I should move a little bit towards dark roast. And I know maybe some of you might be tired of me complaining on every video that I just don't enjoy the appeal of dark roast, but somewhere my mind is little bit shifting now. I think that if I can enjoy this coffee, maybe I can enjoy some other dark roasts as well. Maybe I would jump towards a little bit more darker coffees, like completely dark roast and all those kind of coffees. So far this coffee gave me a good experience, and I would say that I would rate it somewhere near like 9, because first of all, it was better than those other coffees which I have tasted before, which lie in that spectrum of medium dark roast. It was better than that. Secondly, there was subtle bitterness, which I won't deny, might be there. Maybe it is something which I don't enjoy, but it feels at certain point. It can be ignored, but that bitterness is there, and I feel that maybe it has its purpose, but for me it feels like a turn down at certain points. So yeah, I would say that 1 mark I'll take for that. But maybe in future I would be exploring more of 7 beans and see what sort of other dark roasts or medium roasts they have for me. I would love to enjoy their coffee more, because this Eka was a really good surprise. There are some others like Mishta and others. So I would also say the names are pretty innovative, like Urja, Eka, Mishta. Really some nice, good, innovative names. So kudos to you guys for bringing this, and the word is nice, gourmet coffee to us. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. And the link is down in the description if anybody wants to purchase it. With this, I just want to say, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more such coffee videos and for the experiences that I share on my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, enjoy, have fun, and stay caffeinated.